The Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference takes center stage for the state game as the Vulcans of Cal U visit the Red Raiders of Shippensburg, and it's coming up next. Welcome to Seth Grove Stadium on the campus of Shippensburg University for the state game. It's the PSAC Championship, Cal U and Shippensburg. Hey there, I'm Jason Bristol. Gordon Blaine here with me. We'll call this game for you. Gordon, you look at this contest, you have two teams. Cal U expected to be here, Shippensburg, not so much.
Shippensburg picked fifth to finish in the conference preseason rankings. They beat Bloomsburg, they beat East Stroudsburg, they've beaten Westchester. They've done everything that's been asked of them. They've been the surprise team.
And really, for both schools, it all starts quarterback play with Josh Portis, Cal U, and then Chad DeFebo of Shippensburg.
Of course, Josh Portis, a little tour of duty with the Florida Gators. And when Tim Tebow came along, he moved off to Maryland. But now he may have settled in now in California, where he's really found his stride, leads the conference in passing and touchdowns and efficiency. His job is to make big plays.
So it's ball control and Chad DeFebo against big plays and Josh Portis. Coming up, the kickoff on the Sports Fever Television Network.
Today's Sports Fever Television Network presentation of NCAA college football featuring the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference is brought to you by Bloomsburg University, Edinboro University, and by AppScuff.
Jesus.
It is the state game on the Sports Fever Television Network. California, Cal U taking on Shippensburg. And this crowd is rocking here at Seth Grove Stadium. Capacity 7,700 on the campus of Shippensburg University. Jason Bristol, Gordon Blaine. Shippensburg has deferred, won the toss, and will receive the ball in the second half. Keys of the game, Gordon, I think they're pretty simple.
Without a doubt, these are all the top players that are going to be on this field today. And, with Cal U, they got to make sure Mike Harris doesn't get crazy. And for Shippensburg, the wide receiver. And I think they want to get their Wendell Brown, their running game going, and take a little pressure off of Josh Portis, the quarterback. For Shippensburg, hey, they haven't been here very many times. Cal's used to getting here. They got to calm down, and they're all about ball control and ball possession. They need to be settled down and manage the game. And, of course, they got to take Josh Portis out of his ability to make plays.
So Kyler Ford will kick it away, and we were underway in the state game. Cal U has it at about the 2. It's Shedrick Cherry with some running room, tripped up at about the 30-yard line. And now we will get to see that explosive Cal U offense. Really, both teams can put a lot of points on the board. Both were ranked among the best in the PSAC. Here are the starters: Wendell Brown, Brandon Anderson, Blake Williamson. A.J. Jackson is a stud at wide receiver. Shedrick Cherry is the other wideout for Cal U.
And we'll see Terrence Moore there at wideout as well.
Matt Scheuer is one of the offensive guards. Dan Jordan, Shamar Jones. A very good offensive line. It will be very tough to penetrate the big guys and to get back into the backfield of Cal U. So here's Josh Portis from the 29. Portis will throw on first down. And it's caught and a first down. It is Jackson. A.J. Jackson. So here is Shippensburg starters on defense. Eric Van Ness, Andy Horn. Mark Khalil Smith is the nose guard, very experienced with the exception of Smith. But again, these guys are very experienced. The linebackers really set the tone. Riley Bowen, Andy Casale, Josh Simmons. We will call Bowen's name a lot. Fertig is the big hitter. And, of course, Jamon McCullough, Travis Proctor, both are really good corners and defensive back mates in that defensive backfield. So 1st and 10 from the 42. It's a give. And it's Wendell Brown. And he picks up a few.
You know, those cornerbacks we just looked at, they got to keep A.J. Jackson and Terrence Moore and Cherry in front of them, or the long ball, or Portis will hit the long ball. The other thing, too, is you see in this the PSAC and any small college football level, defensive lines are so important. How well they can do against the other offensive line, their matchups, will determine a lot about how the football game goes. We've seen this defensive down guys for Shippensburg make plays against some pretty good football teams.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the best rushing attack in really the conference at Bloomsburg. They gave up a few big runs, but it was more that bend, don't break situation. 2nd and 6 now. Another give to Wendell Brown. Around the right side, wants the marker, and should have another first down for Cal U.
No doubt they want to get Brown gone. I said that was one of their keys. They want to get him gone because that's going to open up some Green out there in the secondary for the big wide receivers.
Travis Proctor out there to help make the stop. And one thing about this Cal U team, individually they don't put up big numbers, but as a whole, this is one of the top rushing offenses in the nation.
One thing you see about the Shippensburg defense is they always seem to take a series or two to catch their breath, get their feet under them. Two big first downs already for Cal, moving the football, both throwing the ball and running the ball.
So 1st and 10 again. Portis looking downfield. Has a man and it's caught. It is Terrence Moore, another one of those guys, big playmaker for Cal U.
Big Terrence. He's not only tall, 6'6", but he's got good speed. But he's got the key to this is Portis steps up in the pocket, has all day, and Portis has a great arm. And when he has all the comfort level to throw it, it's going to be difficult to stop the Vulcans.
36 yards on the hookup. Terrence Moore, 622 yards, 9 touchdowns, averaging almost 19 yards a catch coming into this game. So now Cal U in the red zone on its first possession. From the 11, it's Brown, up the gut, near the end zone, but can't get in. This has been an impressive first drive for Cal U.
And the Cal offensive line, pass protecting and coming off the ball. Brown literally getting into the secondary on all 3 of his runs before somebody gets a hand on him.
Number 96, Mark Khalil Smith, tried to tackle him up top, didn't happen. So now it's 2nd and 1 from the 3. There's a look at Andy Casale, number 46. One of the leaders on the Shippensburg defense. Can Shippensburg respond here? Brown in motion. Portis will throw it up, and it's incomplete. He wanted Terrence Moore. Moore listed at 6'2", 170, a transfer out of Mesa Community College. He's a transplant from Florida. Good touch on this ball, just a little overthrown.
Well, that's a tall 6'2", Jason. When I saw him down on the field a couple hours ago when he was just kind of out there airing it out a little bit, he's more than 6'2". So sometimes you want to cheat the numbers the other way.
Here's the give to Brown. Can he get in? Shippensburg. Yes, touchdown now for Cal U. Shippensburg thought it made the stop, but now it's a touchdown for the Vulcans. And just like that, talked about big plays in the open. That 36-yard to Terrence Moore really set up that scoring strike.
Yeah, and really running the football with Brown a couple times. He opened up that passing game for the Vulcans. They got time to throw. You couldn't have mapped out a better drive to start the football game in a big championship game.
Jamon McCullough had Brown wrapped up but couldn't bring him down. The PAT by DeMoncos is good. Mark DeMoncos adds the extra point. It's 7-0. What will Shippensburg do? We'll find out next. Welcome back. Rocky Reese's team is down 7-0. There is Rocky, who has been here for a long time, his 20th year at Shippensburg, with a record of 117, 103 losses, and 1 tie in his 20 years. Back to receive for Shippensburg is number 85, Brian Barley, along with Kevin Marshall.
Jason, Ship got down to Bloom early on an early drive, and they responded nicely. They're going to have to answer the call here.
It will be Barley from the 10. He is met, spun around, and knocked back to about the 20-yard line. So here's the Shippensburg offense. Mike Harris is the regional finalist or a regional candidate for the Harlan Hill Trophy. He is the wide receiver, a senior from Garden Spot in Lancaster County. He is certainly one of the best players in this conference. Kevin Herod will receive a lot of carries. The guys up front, Dave Fremont, anchors that offensive line.
Their job is so important to keep guys like Dante Brown, former Penn State player, off the back of the Febo.
Chad DeFebo, the quarterback for Shippensburg, out of the wing tee. DeFebo being chased here. There is a flag, though, probably for an illegal block to help out DeFebo in the backfield.
That's what it's going to be from behind.
One thing about Cal U, they have a lot of Division I transfers. That is really the signature of this program. Is our referee today is Gregory Allen. The umpire is Jim Kaufman. The linesman is N.J. Cagliati. Phil DiDomenico is the line judge. The back judge, Sean O'Callahan. Scott Welderer is the field judge. James Snyder is the side judge.
Illegal block in the back. Number 22 on the offense. 10 yards from previous spot. Repeat first down.
So it's Kevin Marshall, the guilty party. He was trying to stop Terrence Hemsley from making his way to Chad DeFebo. And that may be a problem throughout the day, the speed of this Cal U defense.
That's speed on both sides of the ball, and that's the reflection of a lot of players who probably could play at a higher level of football.
And they have at some point, and for whatever reason, they made their way to California. DeFebo has a player and a man. It's caught by Mike Fournette, the very good-looking freshman out of Cumberland Valley High School in the Harrisburg area. Willie Walker is the big stud up front for Cal U on defense, the senior. He has played a lot throughout his career and has been very, very productive. In fact, you look at all these players, they're upperclassmen. The linebackers led by Dante Brown, but what I guess is scary for the rest of the conference, you look at considering how much the rest of the linebacking crew underclassmen. DeFebo looking to throw here, has a man, and it's caught. It's Mike Fournette again. Fournette, he was big in the Bloomsburg game and also showing up here.
Well, when you pass out of the wing tee, you're going to get a lot of passes to your tight end. You're going to get a lot of dragging across the middle, and you're going to get a lot of passes to your backs, your halfback. Fournette, we saw him in high school. He's got a lot of speed, and that's the thing that takes you back about Shippensburg's offense. They're a lot faster than people realize. You get out on the field, you realize, hey, these guys can move.
Fournette, 5'9", 180 pounds.
He can fly. He can flat out fly.
And in that Cal U defensive backfield, the guy to look out for is Terrence Johnson. Here's a give up the middle. And he's very close to a first down. So Shippensburg, here the run by Herod. Kevin Herod, the fullback, listed as a fullback, but can do a little bit of everything. Came into this game as the leading rusher for Shippensburg with 5 touchdowns and 605 yards on the ground. And if you can pick up that kind of yardage on first down, this Shippensburg offense is going to be in a very good place in this game.
Well, here they're responding already. They're down in here, and they're moving into field position for at least a field goal. Second and short. It's amazing how resilient this Shippensburg football team is.
Here's Marshall. Marshall will have the first down, dancing down the sidelines, and picks up a few more. And a flag for a late hit. Over there for Cal U was Brett Diamond, number 53, the linebacker.
Pretty good linebacker, but right there he didn't make a very good, smart play.
In a championship game, those kind of plays always come back to bite you.
Well, both teams are very excited, very pumped, and you just have to somehow, as a veteran player, just kind of get your composure a little bit. A lot of football to play.
Dead ball, personal foul, late hit out of bounds. Defense, 15 yards, automatic first down.
John Luckhart is the head coach at Cal U, one of the most successful college coaches at any level. In his 8th year, 65 wins, 26 losses, has over 200 wins for his career. So after the personal foul, DeFebo looking for the end zone. It's caught. Mike Fournette for the Shippensburg touchdown.
Obviously, Cal did not expect Fournette to be coming out of the backfield to catch passes. He caught 3 on this drive. And Rocky Reese and his staff obviously had something in their back pocket.
Well, I think most teams, when they come into play Shippensburg, it's stop number 84, Mike Harris. And then if you can stop him, then you look for Chase DeFebo's brother, or Chad DeFebo's brother, and Chase. So how about Mike Fournette? Again, what you just mentioned, 3 big pass receptions, and now a touchdown. And the PAT is through. So just like that, Shippensburg does respond. It's now 7-7 in the state game. It's a 7-7 football game now. And Cal U wants to march again. Shedrick Cherry is taken down by Kyler Ford, the kicker. Now let's join the third member of our broadcast crew. It's John Sadak, who is patrolling the sidelines for us. John.
Well, hey, Jason, you cannot count out the Shippensburg team. This is a team that was below 500 a season ago, preseason number 5 in the PSAC, and after allowing 40 points against CW Post, some might have counted them out. But 3 straight wins by a total of 10 points, including a win against a ranked Bloomsburg team. Head coach Rocky Reese says somebody doesn't think we're all that good until they play us. Back up to you guys.
All right, thanks, John. You can tell John is impartial because his hat is not in the colors of either team.
Well,
that is the sign of a true professional. Here's a give to Brown. And Shippensburg with a stop there.
Well, he's fighting off a real hot sun out there today. I mean, this is nice. This feels like September weather here.
In the past, we have come to Shippensburg, and the weather has been awful. No fault of the people here at Ship, but it is just a beautiful fall day here. The sun is shining. There is no precipitation. The field is in great shape. And this is really the way you want to have a championship football game go down.
Here in the Cumberland Valley. You know, last year we did the Bloomsburg-Shippensburg game, and it now is becoming known as the Mud Bowl.
No mud today. Cal U likes that idea. Portis flushed out. He can run a little bit as well. Portis had really impressive numbers this year. 24 touchdowns, 6 INTs, threw for over 2,000 yards. And there is Mike Fournette, who had that big scoring reception. Pretty good timing here by that offensive line to give Portis some time, but the defensive backfield locking down on those Cal U receivers. So that brings up 3rd and 7 from the 35. Third down will be critical for both teams. Portis from the shotgun. Blitz is coming. Portis, pass deflected, brings up 4th down.
Well, they brought the linebacker there. They're bringing pressure now on to Portis. That was one of our keys to the game. Pressure Portis. Don't let him get comfortable. He was comfortable on the first drive. Here they got some penetration. They brought a linebacker to throw a little bit of heat on him.
Pass was deflected, it looked like, by Titan Bruner, number 99. There's Andy Horn, the defensive lineman, number 90. These guys are jacked up with the stop here, and a big stop considering Cal U just marched down the field that first time for that touchdown. So Shippensburg will have 2 players back to receive on this punt. They nearly blocked it. Fair catch called, and it's Mike Harris at about the 37.
What a great guy to return punts. His sure hands.
There is Mike Harris, who has had a tremendous season. He is now the all-time leading receiver in terms of catches in Shippensburg University. He is very close to setting a new school record for touchdowns. He needs just 2 more. Now we look at the playoffs, and here is the Super Region 1 standings, which determines, of course, playoff positioning for the NCAA championships. West Liberty is the number 1 school in this region. Cal U is number 2, Shippensburg 3, and against, obviously, the teams with stars, those are your clubs from the PSAC, Bloomsburg, East Stroudsburg in there as well. Kevin Marshall ripping off a big run inside California territory. Marshall from the Scotland School, a product of Philadelphia. 10th highest total in school history for all-purpose yards. We'll see him do a little bit of everything.
Not many teams run wing T football, especially as pure as Shippensburg does. So if you're not used to seeing that, you get a little bit caught up in the misdirection type stuff. Remember, it's designed to run lateral, then go vertical. And Marshall's got that speed. When he plants that cut, bam, off he goes.
And of course, Cal U used to play Shippensburg every year, but when Shippensburg was moved to the east, they don't play them anymore. Marshall is upended. Nice open field tackle, courtesy of number 15. That's Terrence Johnson, the defensive back. This guy, big-time playmaker on special teams as well.
The Shippensburg offensive line is really getting off the ball. You know, you get that good field position because your defense forced Cal to go 3 and out, and they're doing something with it here. Back to that regional rankings, Jason. The team that loses this game today is as one coach from Shippensburg says to me, they think it's 50-50. They can even get in the regional playoffs.
Wow, that just shows you the strength. Here's DeFebo throwing middle, wants Fournette, a push in the back, but no flag.
There it is now. Ship or Cal, whoever loses that has 3 losses. It's going to be tough to get in there. Even though Ship beat Bloomsburg, even though they beat East Stroudsburg. East Stroudsburg with a big game today against Slippery Rock. If they can win against Slippery Rock, they might just find themselves in the mix. So Edinburgh and Charleston are going to be long shots to get in this thing.
And it's interesting, these two teams in this game have 4 common opponents. Shippensburg was 4-0 against those teams. Cal was 3-1. So these schools, they play the big boys, and that really helps them groom players for the future as well. DeFebo running and throwing, and the catch is called out of bounds. Harris caught it, but it's ruled no catch.
I'll tell you what, that guy has
hands.
He's got Velcro on those fingers, and they're never going to wear off.
You have to remember, he was really banged up in that Bloomsburg game a few weeks ago. Shoulder injury. Wow, the toes. That was awfully close.
Very, very close. But the official's right there.
Well, there is one on the line.
And you can see
that right foot was on the line.
You can see a little white kicking up. Now they're going to punt and try to play a little field possession.
Ford's kick, angling toward the end zone and bounces in for a touchback. Nice attempt, though, by Shippensburg. We'll take a break. Cal U will take over on its own 20. It's 7-7 first quarter on the Sports Fever Television Network. Shippensburg, that offense, going over things on the sidelines. 7-7 game. Josh Portis, Cal U will take over at its own 20. A.J. Jackson was in motion. Give up the middle. Freddie Bacco on the carry. He was ripped down by Titan Bruner. Titan Brunner with the tackle as we look at Nick Molesky, the safety for Shippensburg. This defense, again, bend, don't break. Playing in its first division championship earned its first divisional championship since 2004, playing in its first conference championship game in 28 years. 2nd and 7. Portis pressured, picked off, nearly picked off. Are they calling it an INT? They're saying no. Molesky had it and dropped it. Marcellus Salmons tried to clean it up. That was close. Here's actually was stripped by Terrence Moore, so that was a heads-up play by the Cal receiver. So the end result, 3rd and 7. This crowd coming to life again. Portis caught, first down. It's Moore. Of course, Moore had the big catch to set up that first scoring drive, the 36-yard catch. And here, picks up the first down. Moore is actually the 2nd leading receiver on this Vulcan team. So 1st and 10 from the 32. Another running play, wrestled down. Vinny Renato on the tackle for Shippensburg.
Vinny Renato was the guy that put the pressure on Portis in that last series. He's all over the place right now.
And we haven't even called Riley Bowen's name, number 41 for Ship. There's Freddie Bacco. He's actually your leading rusher for the Cal U team, over 500 yards.
He's been hurt most of the year. Got hurt early in the season. Just came back really the last 2 weeks. And that really gives them that added dimension to try to keep people off the back of Portis.
Another give and another stop. It's Renato again from Delaware, Baird, Delaware. The sophomore linebacker, 5'11", 202 pounds. Good penetration, lots of red jerseys getting in there.
Jason, they're going to go to the nickel package now. Now Bowen is out there. They bring another defensive back out. They're going to have 3 down guys.
3rd and 8.
Figuring Portis is going to the shotgun. They're going to throw the football.
John Luckhart, his team facing 3rd and long from the 34. Portis, flag thrown. Portis will take off. Has lots of room. 1st down and more. Portis down the sideline to about the 36 of Ship. But we'll see what that flag is.
Too many guys in the line of scrimmage, I think, is the call. Cal had too many guys, had 4 wide receivers. Somebody didn't get back into the backfield, off the line of scrimmage.
There you go. Andy Horn was signaling that it was against Cal U. And Gregory Allen just confirmed it.
Good pass coverage because they dropped back into with 8 guys in the pass coverage, but then it opened it up. Somebody has to keep an eye on Portis. He's going to take off and run like that when you got everybody covered.
Illegal shift on the offense, 2 men moving at the same time, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
I stand corrected. All in the same ballpark. Somebody going out for the pass was a little too anxious.
Portis, big-time arm from California.
You watch highlights on California's passing game with all these wide receivers and his arm. It's a scary-looking situation for any defensive coordinator.
Portis barking for the signals. He'll take off again. Escapes 1 tackler. Looking for the sideline. He will be very close, but I think he's going to be short of the 1st down. He was 3rd and 13. I think he got maybe 11, but we'll see where they spot it.
I think they made it. It's really close. Ronaldo was blitzing from his linebacker spot, and he blitzed outside, which left that open middle for Portis to take off. See, right there it is.
Andy Horn almost had him. Riley Bowen gave chase.
They're clearly putting Bowen in for pass coverage purposes at this point.
Well, the chain gang will have to come all the way from the other sideline as this ball is now being measured right in front of the Shippensburg bench, which is tough for us to see because we are directly behind them.
I've seen almost every football game this year on artificial surface.
It's short.
And I've seen guys slipping. I haven't seen anybody slip on this grass field yet.
So it's short, inches.
Looks like Cal's going to go ahead and punt the ball, not take any chances.
You surprised by that? I mean, when you consider how explosive this offense can be and maybe to make a statement and go up 7.
Did you see that story moving on national wires about going for it on 4th down?
Yeah.
And most guys are getting it 50% of the time.
Yeah.
I don't know. You got a really good defense, and a lot of these games are decided by mistakes made at in your own back end, in your own end of the field.
So if you play the field position game, you back the other guys up.
These are 2 veteran coaches that both won a ton of games. They're from the for Penn State fans, a Joe Paterno look at this. I'm in a big game. I'm going to play defense and not make mistakes and make the other guy make a mistake, and then I'll pounce on it. But you got Mike Harris back here returning punts. He's sure-handed, and he's also pretty slippery.
And he's standing at the 20. He signaled for the fair catch. And I think he thought that one was going to bounce in the end zone, but instead Cal will down it inside the 10 at about the 9.
It was a heck of a good play.
Matt McClellan, number 2, a linebacker, doing the honors for the Vulcans.
Well, you don't catch punts, though. I'm one of these guys that 2 things that really bug me. Number 1, don't kick the guys that are faster than anybody on your kickoff or the punt team. Number 2, catch the punts.
Yeah.
Because by the end of the day, you probably the rolls are tacked on 50 yards.
Well, right there, they lost at least 10.
Well, who am I to say that a veteran player like Harris, a guy who's in the Harlan Hill discussion, and he's had such a great career.
Give up the middle, Shippensburg to about the 15. Kevin Herring. Hey, let's set it down once again. to John on the sidelines. John?
Well, Jason, here for the state game, an NCAA playoff spot likely on the line. Perhaps both of these teams could be playoff bound, but the officials for this game, they come from a higher level. It was a last-minute switch only a day before the game, an entire Division I crew that usually works games out of the NEC. And in fact, they're not biased. Half the crew is from Pittsburgh and the western portion of the state. The other half is from the eastern portion of the state and parts of New Jersey and New York. But it's a D1 crew for this D2 big game.
Thanks, John. A brother-to-brother hookup. Chad DeFebo to Chase. Big yardage for Shippensburg. Well, that's good to know that you've got a little bit of east and west on that officiating crew.
Well, hats off to Steve Murray, the commissioner of the conference, saying let's get the best possible thing we can get going here. Of course, maybe the Division II guys weren't available today for that matter, but we don't know that. I've seen some of these officials on our games, though, in the past.
Chad DeFebo, Chase DeFebo, these two have hooked up for scoring strikes throughout their career, and it's very interesting. Throughout the college history of college football, you don't have many brother combos, a quarterback and a receiver throwing and catching touchdowns. It's very rare. The Fluties are certainly one, Doug and Darren, and then you go back to McNair, Steve McNair, the late Steve McNair at Alcorn State. His brother was a wide receiver there. So this is a rarity in college football, and they've been very productive here at Shippensburg.
And you're just a trivia crazy guy, and I expect you to know that. I didn't even worry about finding that out.
You have to do your research, and it's funny. When Chad is in trouble, he told me he always looks for his brother Chase. Here's a hand to Fournette, trying to get out of trouble, has the first down. Fournette is still on his feet. The little man at 5'9" picks up more big yardage. I don't think Cal U thought much of Mike Fournette when it came to the game plan, but there is a Cal U player now down in the Shippensburg backfield. But look at Fournette. I mean, the blocker's there.
Well, that's that classic wing T running play to the halfback. He runs laterally until he can find the seam and then cuts it up. This guy is so fast. You know, he played his high school football just up the road here about 15 minutes at Cumberland Valley. And they played wing T at Cumberland Valley, so he's tailor-made for this thing. Of all the units on the field right now, Jason, the one unit that's doing the best, it's winning its portion of this football game, is the offensive line for Shippensburg. They are pushing a pretty good defensive line off the ball for Cal.
Rontez Miles, a defensive back, number 9, is the injured player. Miles is from Braddock, went to Woodland Hills. He's a freshman defensive back, and he is now being helped off the field.
An NFL factory at Woodland Hills High School in Pittsburgh.
There is one of the DeFebos with a little break. That is Chase. Here's Chad, the give. It's Kevin Marshall. Marshall with more positive yardage. Boy, Shippensburg running the football very well. Say this about Cal. They have stopped some of the best runners in this conference. You look at guys like Alfonso Hoggard of Clarion. Cal stopped him.
I think it was the only game that Alfonso was held under 100 yards all year. And that little guy can motor.
He can.
We've had him on a couple games the last couple years, and he's electrifying.
And congratulations to Clarion. What a great season. I mean, that team, that program was really faltering, and now it's one of the best in the conference. Here's Herod with another carry. Vulcans ranked 2nd in the conference, 18th in the nation in rushing defense, allowing just under 95 yards a game. And like you said, Cal U only one 100-yard rusher all season. They limited Hoggard to 50 yards.
And Hoggard leads the conference in rushing. He should go over 1,000 yards a day at Cheney.
Here's Herod showing some strength, bowling over a Cal U defender. So how about Shippensburg now marching down the field, 1st and 10 from the 22. Fournette was in motion. It's a give to Herod. Herod pushes forward. Pickup of about 4 or 5.
Every first down, they're getting something on first down. And that just puts your offensive coordinator in the driver's seat to really kind of look over the whole playbook and make some plays.
And to show you how experienced this Shippensburg team is, the last time these two schools met in 2007, Shippensburg couldn't even manage a touchdown. All they could score was 3 field goals, and on its first possession, Shippensburg scores. That is the end of the first quarter. Shippensburg on the doorstep, marching down this field, starting the second quarter in Cal U territory, thanks to players like Kevin Harrod. How will Shippensburg do to start the second? We'll be back on the Sports Fever Television Network. Welcome back. The uglies are out, but this has thus far been pretty for both schools. 7-7. DeFebo throwing. It's Harris knocked down to about the 9. Mike Harris, his first catch of this ball game. DeFebo, once again, lots of time. Blitz was coming, or at least pressure from the weak side. And DeFebo was able to throw a rope to Mike Harris. So now, 1st and goal from the 9. Harris is such a special player. It's Marshall, right side, in for the Shippensburg touchdown. Kevin Marshall, the redshirt junior, makes it 13-7, a 9-play drive. His 3rd rushing touchdown of this season. Lots of misdirection, and Marshall just outran everybody. So Shippensburg pulls in front with 14:30 on the clock. The PAT is good, but the play was whistled dead. Rocky Reese trying to figure out what's going on. So it's a false start on Shippensburg. Sounds like it was Pete Kreischer, the offensive lineman. So Kyler Ford will try it one more time. Snap was good, the hold was good, the kick is good as well. So Shippensburg pulling in front of Cal U in the state game, 14-7. Welcome back, Shippensburg. Thanks to Kevin Marshall. 9-yard run capped off a 9-play, 91-yard drive to make it 14-7. Cal U getting the football here on a very short kick. Backo has it about his own 20. Backo riding the back of one of his blockers to about the 39. Guys are talking. And the umpire, Jim Kaufman, will break it up. Thus far, Shippensburg with 188 yards of total offense, 18 plays compared to only 100 on 16 plays for Cal. So Josh Portis will lead his boys back onto the field. Portis, a product of Woodland Hills, California. He's throwing here, slips, and then is brought down. Tackled by Taylor Davis, the defensive lineman. Let's head back to the sidelines. John Sadak. John, what do you got?
Well, this Cal team might be down right now, and they've been down before this year. Even though they've won more than 80% of their games in the last 5 seasons, they started 0-2. But graduate linebacker Dante Brown said the turning point was players-only closed-door meetings. Anything goes, he said. It was all open. We called everyone out, aired it out, and from that point forward, it's been all wins for Cal U. Back to you.
It is certainly an interesting dynamic at Cal U when you have a number of players who come in for 1 or 2 years, and to get them all on the same page, it has to be a challenge. Portis will take off here. Back to about the original line of scrimmage. Andy Cusale, another Cumberland Valley product, number 46, helping out. Portis saw the wide open space, picked up a block from Brandon Anderson, and then fell forward. So that will bring up 3rd and 11. 3rd and long here for the Vulcans. From the 37. Chip with 3 down linemen. Here comes one of them, Portis, the big arm. Incomplete, dropped. Shedrick Cherry was the intended receiver. So Cal U will have to punt as Portis walks off the field. That one couldn't place it any better. Shippensburg band into this. Derek Fiorenza will punt it away for the Vulcans, and Ship will let this one bounce, a Cal bounce to about the 22. And that's where Shippensburg will take over. So again, Shippensburg making stands on defenses. Want to thank Shippensburg University, which set a record for enrollment this year with over 6,900 undergraduate students and 1,300 graduate students. For more, ship.edu. DeFebo, play fake. Throwing, caught Mike Harris. His second catch of this game. So Mike Harris now picking up steam.
Yeah, you haven't even gotten him involved in the offense to this point. Now you bring him in the mix. The running game has really kind of opened everything up now for the offense for Shippensburg. What an incredible drive that to get the go-ahead touchdown. They're doing it all. I mean, they're attacking the Cal defense from all different directions.
Marshall to give. Actually, it's Herod up the middle.
It's that old fullback trap in the wing T, and he bolts for 10 yards and looks like close to a first down. Yep, first down.
Herod averaging just under 5 yards a carry in this one. Marshall is over 10 yards a carry. Fournette, 18 yards a carry. When you get that kind of production, you're going to be in good shape. There is Herod. DeFebo, such an improved player this season. Up the middle, it's Herod again across midfield.
5 yards on every first down, Jason. It's just really making life difficult on the Cal side of the football and defense.
Herod from Allentown, Parkland High School, 6'1", 224 pounds, a redshirt freshman. Tough to bring down as well.
Parkland can turn out the running backs. Of course, Austin Scott and a state championship a few years back, and they've got a really nice running back this year who's going to Syracuse, I believe it is.
2nd and 5. Marshall, the motion man, has it. Marshall, right side, has the first down and more. Wow, this Shippensburg team, you know, I think coming in there were some questions on whether they could really outrun or at least outmaneuver some of these Cal defensive players. They're doing it thus far in this first half.
Wing T sweep. Watch the linemen pull out of their positions and lead the way.
53,
Dave
certainly
Fremont
out there. Dave Fremont, and then you've got Herod serving as a blocker as well. Fremont, I mean, he is a guy, he is always out there leading the way for Shippensburg.
Well, they run these wing T sweeps. They get the convoy in front and just clear a path. Now he's running through tackles. The big C word coming into play right now, it's called confidence.
DeFebo, it was nearly caught by Jake Biondi, the backup tight end.
Well, good defense for California. Thomas Mulaba blew that thing up. It's like
DeFebo also took a little hit.
he
It
hammered
was
him.
61. Mulaba, Thomas Mulaba, the defensive lineman who you just mentioned.
So that's the first first down that Ship didn't get positive yardage pretty much since the opening drive.
2nd and 10. Fournette carrying. Fournette slipping through the defense and has the first down. Mike Fournette picked up 18 yards on 1 carry and more big yardage this time.
Well, it looked like he might get trapped in the backfield. Then it looked like he might not get past the line of scrimmage, but he's got some real quick feet. No one could get a good solid piece of him.
Fournette so low to the ground and speedy as well.
Jake Biondi, the tight end, man, he just blew that corner out, and then Fournette had a second life down into the secondary.
Fournette's season high in rushing is 65 against Millersville. This time, nearly brought down, but escapes and picks up a couple more to about the line of scrimmage. And Fournette has already set a season high and a career high, essentially, with receptions with 3 in this game alone.
The team that leads the conference in time of possession is playing the role once again. They're playing up to what they do best, and that just keeps the Cal defense on the field. Somebody somewhere is going to break down some point.
And I wonder, again, that unfamiliarity, because, again, these two teams used to play each other a lot. They don't anymore. Cal has a lot of transfers and first and second year guys. Little pitch here to Marshall, the shovel pass, and he is cut down near the line of scrimmage. I wonder, normally Cal would see this on a consistent basis. They haven't seen it for a couple of years.
Again, though, they should be familiar with it because they played him for a long time.
Well, the coaches are, but I'm saying the players, though.
Yeah, that's right. In the wing tee, you don't see much in the college game. You see a lot of it in high school. Dante Brown, the former Penn Stater, made the tackle there, and that's the postcard for Cal football. A lot of guys who have played Division I football or should be or could be playing for Cal.
Dante Brown, really the anchor of this defense. DeFebo flushed. Fires and it's complete.
It looks like
that Harris again? Yes. We'll see where they mark the forward progress.
Hey, the house is on fire. You got to step out of the front door. You're going to look for your favorite target because guess what? If I get it anywhere close,
he'll catch it.
If I go to Biglerville with it, he'll still catch it.
DeFebo, that was a good ball too. Ridden down by Kyle Crane. The crowd here does not like the spot. Shippensburg is at least a yard short.
Well, he did kind of catch it around the 15-yard line, but when he kept running with it, and that's where they tackled him. So, big 4th down play.
And they're going for it. And again, the field position game. We'll see if they try and draw Cal off. And now, do we have a timeout? It is a timeout called by Shippensburg. We'll step aside as well. Shippensburg, what will it do on 4th down? We'll find out when we come back on STN. Welcome back, big 4th down. Shippensburg converts 65% of the time. They will run a play. DeFebo will throw, has a man, it's caught for the first down. It's the tight end, Mark Rossi.
If you believe in stats, Jason, then Shippensburg's going to go for 4th down against Cal every time. Reason is, Ship leads the conference in the percentage of 4th down conversions, and Cal, in stopping the 4th down conversions, is 15 out of 16.
Yeah, near the bottom. Play the percentage there, and Rossi, he is also a solid contributor. So now 1st and goal from the 4 for Shippensburg. So far, nearly everything has gone right for the Raiders. Ball, end zone, nearly caught by Harris.
Almost hit the defender, Johnson, in the helmet.
That was Mike Brown, number 19.
Rather, my fault.
Mike Brown defending Harris.
And Brown never turned, but he obviously wasn't face guarded.
Well, he got a hand,
He did get a hand. He did turn.
He just kind of stuck that arm out.
What?
That was enough.
Good play. He turned just enough at the right time and got the hand in there where the ball would cradle into Harris's hands.
John Luckhart's team now facing 2nd and goal. Fournette has room. Can he get in? No, he is taken down at about the 3. It was Eric Harris, number 31, who came in and brought down the freshman.
Eric Harris had a big game last week against Mercyhurst, and he just saw the runner and came up and made a short-handed tackle from New Oxford.
He is the 2nd leading tackler on this Cal U team behind Dante Brown, the transfer from Penn State. So now, 3rd and goal for Shippensburg. DeFebo, another throw. Defender fell down to Harris, caught, touchdown. This time Brown fell to the ground, and Ship has 6.
I just wonder what kind of move Harris made to go to the corner. I guess we'll hopefully see it on the replay.
It was the exact same play.
He just came off the line and Brown did not react very well.
13 plays, 78 yards for Ship. And this crowd is rocking here at Seth Grove. Kyler Ford, PAT, pushes it through. It's good. 21-7. Here is the replay. The defenders slip. Harris has 6. Ship has the lead. Shippensburg leads 21-7 over Cal U in the state game, the championship match for the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. As Mike Harris caught a touchdown, he is now 1 away from tying the school record set by Jamie Ware. Ware has 26, Harris now has 25. Harris already broke Ware's receiving record for most catches in a career. Did that against Bloomsburg. Well, Cal U has its work cut out for them.
They haven't had to play a lot of catch-up. They did fall behind Clarion, though, and came back to win in the final 2 minutes.
Not a good kick by Kyler Ford. That is the kind of kick that coaches do not like. As part of the Sports Fever Television Network's continuing coverage of the PSAC, we'd like to recognize the Student Athlete of the Week from Cal U. It's Dante Brown, the football player, the linebacker, established a career high with 18 tackles last week as the Vulcans clinched an outright PSAC West title with a 28-7 win over Mercyhurst. The 18 tackles, 3rd highest total this year in the conference and most by a Vulcans player since 2003. So congratulations to Dante Brown. As for the Women's Student Athlete of the Week, it's Amanda Heister, the women's soccer senior forward. She helped the Vulcans clinch their first ever PSAC West title in women's soccer after scoring 4 goals and adding an assist last week. With her goals, she is now the all-time leading goal scorer in Cal U history, also tied for first place in career points. Congratulations to both Heister and Brown. Cal U throwing, caught by A.J. Jackson along the sidelines, and it is a first down just like that for the Vulcans.
And I think we're going to see Air Portis now unleashed, because I don't think they're very comfortable being down 21-7 to a team that leads the conference in time of possession, because their touches are going to be limited, so they need to get points and get back in this football game.
Jackson is such a huge target. I thought coming in, covering a guy who is 6'6" is awfully difficult. It would be very interesting to see how the Raiders did it. First down give to Wendell Brown. Brown pushing his way past the 40 to about the 39. John Sadak on the sidelines. John.
Kevin Herod, who is one of the redshirt freshman running backs in the Shippensburg team, has been talking about finishing. He said the offseason, that was the motto for the team. Finishing games, finishing plays, playing every play as if it's your last. And he said that championed them to their 4-game winning streak after the CW Post loss. We certainly saw it on that last drive. Going for it on 4th down, they finished it. Not only getting the first, but getting a TD for a 2-score lead. Back up to
2nd and 5, of course, that next game was Kutztown, and Ship came away with a 26-22 win. Portis throwing, short pass, and it's caught by Brown. And it will be a first down.
Well, they're going to their back now, too.
And they're making it look easy, too. So Wendell Brown, they'll move the markers. And anytime you have guys that can come out of the backfield and catch the ball, it only helps. There's Kevin Herod, the redshirt freshman running back from the Allentown area. So it's 1st and 10 from the 31 for Portis and the Vulcans. Brown is the tailback, number 3. They fake the give. Portis sideline, caught dancing there is Moore. Terrence Moore with his 3rd catch of this game.
Well, they ran Jackson. He was the guy far out, and Jackson ran a post to the end zone. He took the safeties with him, and underneath, and slipping underneath was Moore right there. He slips underneath, and he's wide open at the 15-yard line.
Got into the track pit as well.
Well, you just have to, you're up by 2 touchdowns. You got the one key was to keep Jackson and Moore in front of you if you're in the secondary. So they'll give them the underneath stuff. Now the field gets a little bit tighter for receivers to run patterns. It helps the defense in the secondary.
1st and 10 from the 14. Second quarter, 21-7. Portis looking middle, wants middle, no flag. Looking for Moore again.
And they had the matchup. They had Riley Bowman trying to cover Moore. Now that's no knock on Riley Bowman, but he's not going to go step for step with a big fellow like Moore.
Bowen is a high-energy kid, though. Grabbed an arm of Moore, the right arm, but it's incomplete.
Portis just didn't put enough air underneath his pass there.
Portis, again, transplant from Woodland Hills, California. We'll discuss that throughout this game. 2nd and 10. The give to Brown. Nearly tripped up and finally brought down. Credit a host of tacklers, including Cody Fleming, the linebacker, number 44.
Portis came from a pretty popular high school in California.
Yeah, Woodland Hills, William Howard Taft High School. Some very famous alums, including Robin Yount, who went to his high school. Lisa Kudrow, who was on Friends. Wilmer Valderrama, another actor. Ice Cube, the rapper.
And then he was a recruit of Urban Meyer at Florida.
Yeah. Well, listen, if you're looking for star power, you don't have to look much farther.
Oh, this guy's ready for. He's a movie.
Portis, pressure, gets rid of it, incomplete. Had to because Andy Horn, number 90, was breathing down his neck on 3rd down.
Sounded like a whole bunch of steers got out of the barnyard there with Horn chasing, and you could hear the hoof marks. Boom, boom, boom. And Portis, I'm going to get rid of this football and then get to that track as fast as I can. Hey, a great hold for the Shippensburg defense here to hold what looked like a pretty comfortable drive for Cal till they got down in that 2nd and 3rd down and long situation.
So Mark DeMonkis on for the field goal attempt.
Gosh, when you're playing Shippensburg, you get a couple first downs, and you look up at the clock, and geez, the quarter's almost gone. They had the football for a good portion of the 2nd quarter.
30-yard attempt for the sophomore from Johnstown. Kick is up. It's no good. So DeMonkis misses from 30, and Shippensburg is definitely feeling it.
Boy, Cal must be saying, where is that bus? We need to get back on the bus, and then let's get off the right way. Because right now, just miss a chip shot. And DeMonkis, he's a proven quality kicker. To slide that wide right, it appeared. Gosh, what a break for Shippensburg. And Cal must think to himself, what are we going to do here?
Well, Shippensburg is now going to go back on offense with DeFebo.
And just 3:38 to go in the half.
Yeah.
But they've covered a lot of territory here in this first half.
Shippensburg 266 yards in total offense in this first half, outgaining Cal, which has 99. Did you see that coming?
No, not at all. This is maybe if Cal's winning, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But the way they're doing it, of course, they're doing it the way they're good at it. Get the football, long drives, play first down football. Mix it up. When you look at the stats, they're very balanced between the pass and the run, and we're seeing that here today.
Time of possession at one point was 13 minutes for Shippensburg, 10 for Cal. Ship has only converted 1 of 3 third downs, but a 1 of 1 on 4th down, and that was big. Marshall running, picks up a couple.
Really, this is one of the few times they're going to be third and long now.
Yeah.
Because they've been getting great yardage on first down. That's why they've been having to stay away from having to convert third downs.
Brett Diamond, the sophomore linebacker, was there to take down Marshall.
And Diamond really got in behind the blockers and made a really nice tackle.
Textbook. 3rd and 7 from the 23.
I think Shippensburg's got to be careful here. They don't throw a pick. They don't turn it over.
And they have to be careful of number 52, Dante Brown, who we just saw.
I think Cal's looking to maybe make a play here on defense.
DeFebo has some time, will throw high. He was looking for Harris.
Tough throw.
Actually, it was Fournette.
Tough throw. He's throwing against his body. Had to set up and then try to needle it because there was defenders everywhere.
It's one thing if you got Harris at 6'4", the other is when you got Fournette at 5'8".
He threw a 6'4" pass.
He did, you're right.
Don't blame him. How many completions has he thrown to Harris in the past 2 years?
Yeah. DeFebo, prior to that drive, was 10 of 14 for $128 and 2 touches. Forward kicking. This is a pretty good one.
They got great field position here.
It was Cherry on the reception who was turned head over heels. But Shippensburg still has that lead, 21-7 here in the second. Reason to celebrate for the Red Raider cheerleaders. Up 21-7 over Cal U. And Shippensburg will now try to stop the Vulcans once again before this half ends. Portis, little play fake. Throwing deep, looking for Jackson, threw it too far.
Had him too. He was open for 6. Got behind the safety for Shippensburg.
Had separation.
Nick Molesky.
Yep. Jackson is also a regional candidate for the Harlan Hill, given to the best player in the nation.
Interviews on your camera or on the stationary one?
Here we'll take a look again. Good pass protection. Big arm from Portis. And just overthrew him.
Had plenty of time to just peck away here.
And they'll try it with a running play. It's Backo. Portis and Jackson have hooked up before. I mean, big-time scoring plays, 40 yards at Gannon, or against Gannon, I should say. So those two, when they're on the same page, can be lethal. So 3rd and 10, another 3rd and long situation for the Vulcans.
I think Cal gets the ball here with a short field, thinking we're going to punch one in here, and their first 2 plays just didn't work out.
And Shippensburg will have the football to begin the second half as well. There is a timeout here taken by the Vulcans. We'll take a timeout as well. It's 21-7, Shippensburg in front in the state game. Devote more than 700,000 hours of community time. And we thank APSCA for been a very integral part of these broadcasts throughout the last 3 years.
Great down and out to get the first down.
That was big.
Portis made a great throw there.
Shedrick Cherry, the wide receiver, dropped one earlier in this game. This time, good hands along the sidelines.
They really put no pressure on him in the pocket at all. They have covered. They've gone to pass coverage. They've covered well. They've shut down the run. But it's really been Portis has had the time. He just hasn't been accurate. And he's got the highest quarterback rating numbers in the league.
So 1:23 on the clock, certainly enough time. Portis will take off, and he is brought down by Travis Proctor, who went right for the legs and upended Portis.
I like the call, but Proctor wasn't fooled.
And Portis paid. Here it is again. That was how you tackle.
Proctor gets up and straightens his helmet.
Saying, yep, I wasn't fooled.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for playing. Another timeout here. So Shippensburg 21-7, facing 2nd and 6 with 1:02 on the clock. There is Proctor. Travis is a junior defensive back from Columbia.
So what do you do in the California playbook right here? 2nd and 7, about a minute to go in this.
Well, it's a pretty extensive playbook. CalU. For more information on California, calu.com. And if it's Division II, it's CalU.
Okay, that rhymes.
California certainly has one of the best athletics programs in the East. In fact, has won a Lambert Trophy in 2008 and 2007 as the Beast of the East. Finalist in football in 07 and 08, NCAA semifinalist. Brought a good crowd, too. I mean, it's not an easy trip to make.
It just doesn't happen, though. You have to have from the president down, President Armenti.
Angelo Armenti.
He's made the commitment financially, and they promote, they recruit, they build facilities, they raise money, they go at it.
And they produce. Portis, 2nd and 6. Pressure coming, lost the football, has to fall on it. It was Andy Horn, number 90. He has been everywhere today.
He has, and they really, you can't, it's tough to block him for 4 quarters, and he's been tough to block for the first 2 quarters.
Here he is, he ran right around 78, jack range. And now another timeout has been called. There is Horn.
Cal still has 1 timeout left, Ship has 2 timeouts.
Horn is from Central York. In York County. Central York high school football week 10 beat York Bearcats convincingly last night, or Friday night.
Central York's coach, Brad Livingston, a veteran coach there, great guy.
Successful too.
Yeah, and always seems to have all the pieces it takes to be in the playoffs. And they got a great facility over there outside of York.
So CalU discussing, talking, lots of options, deep playbook. And look at that day, Shippensburg, Pennsylvania. This is just an incredible campus. Lots of growth. They have a tremendous new facility for performances and concerts. And continuing to grow.
Well, you're gonna throw the ball down into the end zone to one of these speedy, big wideouts.
3rd and 11.
You got to. Moore's in tight. Jackson out wide.
4 receivers. Portis will step up. Pressured. Escapes. Looking, trying to buy time, just heaves it in the end zone. It's out of bounds. Big 3rd down stop for the Raiders.
Guess who was putting the pressure on the 2 guys?
Let me guess. Does his number begin with a 9 and end with a 0?
That's one. And the other guy who's come off the bench and played very well this whole half is this Vinny Ronaldo.
Vinny Ronaldo. Here's Portis. Horn, number 90. Initially it was 99. That was Titan Brunner. And now brings up 4th down. Shippensburg calling. There was Sherry. He was calling for the football. Now the players on Shippensburg's sideline calling for noise. 4th down. Portis. Short pass. Caught, corralled, dropped. Incomplete, they're calling it. It was Moore. Terrence Moore drops it, and now Ship will take over on downs. With 36 seconds left on the ticker.
Excuse me, Jason. Terrence just didn't seem like he wanted that football right there.
Well, it was also a good defensive play. Sticking a hand in there was Marcellus Salmons, number 8.
It was the right idea. It was the right kind of play for the 1st down.
Shippensburg content now to take a knee and go into halftime up 2 touchdowns. So what a statement in this first half by the Red Raiders. Rocky Reese has to be thrilled with that 21-7 lead. And you consider Red Raiders have scored at least 23 points in all 10 games this season. That had never been achieved in 105 years of football here at the university. And they're showing they can put points on the board against one of the most talented and deep teams in the entire country. Chad DeFebo running out into the locker room. But, again, you talked earlier, keep your composure. There's still a half a football left, and Cal U can strike at any time.
They got some real explosive weapons there. And when they get on the same page, they can get points in a hurry.
So we go to half. 21-7, Shippensburg on top. Much more from Seth Grove Stadium on the Sports Fever Television Network. 21-7 is your score. Cal U got the scoring started with a 2-yard run by Wendell Brown, made it 7-0. Then Chad DeFebo hit the freshman Mike Fournette 18 yards. It was 7-7. Second quarter, Kevin Marshall, 9-yard run, pay dirt. It was 14-7, Raiders in front. Then 6.5 minutes left in the quarter. DeFebo, Mike Harris, 3-yard touchdown, his 25th of his career. And that is how we're here at 21-7, Raiders on top. And we begin the second half with Shippensburg taking over and receiving the football. It is Brian Barley, who is then ripped down at about the 10. And Gordon, I would love to know what John Luckhart said to his guys in the locker room at halftime.
And it couldn't have been nice, at least for the first half of the speech. But I think, obviously, they have to try to find a way to play some good offensive football and get first downs and keep Shippensburg from basically chewing up the clock and owning field position. Possession and position, it's been all Ship.
But this may be surprising. You look at the field position, or the time of possession, 15 minutes, 14:52 for Cal. So, again, the time of possession, but it was what Shippensburg did on those possessions that really made the most in the first half.
Well, to be able to go toe-to-toe with Cal and be even in that area, because, if Cal was the dominant football team, they'd be 3 and outs.
Yes.
And you would just be, your offense would just be hanging on for dear life. But clearly watching the football game, and, stats can be deceiving. I hate to say that, but the Ship's offensive line has been the key. They have controlled the tempo of the football game of all the units on the field.
Second and long here, 2nd and 12. DeFebo throwing, needs to watch out. DeFebo throwing long, has a wide open man. It's caught. It's Chase DeFebo, his brother.
He was scrambling for his life. If he found him a little earlier,
yes, in stride,
he'd still be counting numbers backwards.
21 would have crossed the 21 for a touchdown, but still Shippensburg will take it, converting on that long second down play.
Again,
he was wide open.
But what a throw. When you look at it on the replay, he has to go out there, scramble out, then set up, and he puts it down the field 30 yards.
And look at number 3 still running down. I mean, he was only about 20 yards downfield. Fournette on the carry there. Brought down by Dante Brown. Number 52. Brown had a huge week when they won the West. 18 tackles, 8 solo, a career high in the 28-7 victory against Mercyhurst.
Well, I think if you're Cal, again, it's a lot of football to be played, but if you're Cal, you want to come out and stuff Ship 3 and out, and he didn't do it.
So 2nd and 9. DeFebo.
A classic wing T setup, 2 wing backs, one back, full back.
Throwing, fake, DeFebo. This one is caught. It is DeFebo again. That one looked like it could have been intercepted. Somehow, Chad found Chase. That one wasn't on a rope. It was kind of a floater, and DeFebo was able to go up and get it.
Mike Brown had that thing totally covered, and now they're looking up into a sun, and somehow Chase makes the catch. The ball is where the only place it could have been thrown for him to catch it. It's totally blanketed.
maybe Brown jumped too early? Marshall absorbing a hit to about the 15.
So what do you do in the wing tee? Go right back to the bread and butter run.
Well, like any offense, wing tee, pro style, the run always sets up the pass.
Now, we talked in the pregame that Portis' mission was to make big plays. Well, he better have a whole belt full of big plays right now if Ship punches this in.
To go up 28-7, that would be something.
That's a hill to climb for any football team, especially two very good football teams.
So 2nd and 4 from the 15. Fournette in motion. DeFebo on a line, caught, touchdown. It's Chad to Chase. 6 for Shippensburg.
He had one-on-one coverage, and what does Chase do? Because he knows his brother's going to see it, he does a quick two-step into the defender and then does the post pattern and slants right in there for the touchdown. And boy, does the brother combination on that drive, 3 straight passes.
In stride, caught, score, 27-7. Kyler Ford on for the point after. This score throughout the PSAC being flashed across scoreboards in this conference, people will be scratching their heads. It's now 28-7, Shippensburg on front, and overdrive. (28-7) thanks to a 6-play, 84-yard drive. Of those 6 plays, 3 DeFebo to DeFebo, including the 15-yard touchdown toss to make it 28-7. Kyler Ford kicking off. He's been a busy dude. High kick to the 18. Backo up the middle. One of his better returns, and it's to the 38.
Cal has to just find some rhythm. They just have to be a little more comfortable here.
And here's what we talked about, DeFebo to DeFebo. There was the first, which was on a long 2nd down play. Then the leaping grab. And then later, capping off the drive, the 15-yard pass. Chase DeFebo now has 107 yards receiving on 4 catches, 3 of them in that drive. Chad DeFebo, 13 of 18, 207 yards, 3 touchdowns. He has not been sacked once. On the flip side, Josh Portis has been sacked twice. He is 7 of 16, 113 yards throwing. The toss here, it's Wendell Brown, picks up maybe 4. So Brown on the carry. 7 yards. 7 carries, I should say, for 30 yards and a touchdown for Brown. Thought he could have gotten a little more. So Josh Portis and Cal U facing 2nd and 5. Portis, play action, sideline, bobbled. Will they call it a catch? They do. John Sadak on the sidelines. John, what do you have?
Well, Jason, as you've talked about, this is Shippensburg's 3rd ever appearance in the state game. The most recent one came in 1981. They dominated Millersville, routed Virginia Union in the playoff, lost in the national semifinals. But in their first in 1976, they were the team down, 14-7 in the 4th quarter, 8-2 on the year against an upstart East Stroudsburg team. They tied it at 14, and that was all. No overtime rules back then. They were declared co-champions. Back up to you guys.
That's no story that Shippensburg wants to hear, but thanks, John. Pass to Jackson, very near the marker. Here's Portis. Cut down by Proctor. And it is short of a 1st down. So 3rd and maybe a couple. Actually 2nd and 2. And Shippensburg, huge defensive stop in there. Number 99, Titan Brunner. So Brunner with the penetration and the knockback. Of course, the state game is now coming back. It was formerly played from 1960 to 1987 before the league determined to place more emphasis on, the access to the NCAA playoffs. Cal U has played in the PSAC championship game in 1968, 84, and then last year. So big third down play here, 3rd and 3 on the loss of 1. Portis. Sideline again. Cherry. They will call it a catch. Actually, it's Jackson. No, it's Cherry. It is Cherry on the catch.
At the end of the first half, they ran that down and out for a first down. Maybe it's just a matter of patience. Just why not keep throwing that pass to get something going? That's the one pass. Portis is he's got a great strong arm. Cherry is a possession kind of guy. He catches the football.
And this is the 10th game, or later in the season, I should say. When you look at those helmets, they're all scratched up for Cal U. The 11th game for the Vulcans. The 11th game for Shippensburg. 1st and 10 now after that catch by Cherry. Portis, lots of time. Middle, incomplete.
I just think Portis threw it too high. He had his man. If he can lay it in there, it's a touchdown.
Terrence Moore, the intended wideout. Boy, we talked about passing efficiency coming into this one. The efficient one has been DeFebo.
See, the receiver was on the inside of the defender there.
Everything was set up. It was just the throw wasn't on line.
A little different though, completing passes when you're not the team on the horse in the lead.
That's true.
A little different.
Sense of urgency for the Vulcans. 2nd and 10. Another passing attempt. End zone, incomplete. He overthrows another man. This time it's Dominique Curry, the transfer from Cheney.
When we talked about in our pregame setup of the quarterbacks, it has been the two quarterbacks have played a big role in what we're at right now, because DeFebo is putting the ball on the money, giving his guys a chance to catch it, and Portis is just not giving his receivers a chance to catch some of these passes.
There is Curry, who was at one time at Cheney simply one of the best receivers in the conference, at least on the PSAC East side. He's now a graduate student here for Cal U. 3rd and 10 from the 24. Shippensburg looking for a stop. Portis wants a first down. Portis wants time. Looking for space, a little shovel pass. He deliberately put that out of bounds because the pressure was coming. So once again, Shippensburg holds firm. Giving chase for Ship was Eric Van Ness. And Cal's going for it.
You got to. You have no choice. You got to get something going. Somebody's got to make a play for Cal right now.
And our camera is bouncing because right now Seth Grove Stadium is pounding on the bleachers. 4th and 10. Portis. Incomplete. Shippensburg will have the football.
And it was great pressure. Great pressure.
It's Renato again, 33.
And Titanbrunner. And Josh Simmons. All three of them hanging all over Portis. Here they come. Great coverage, too.
Travis Proctor.
Just great defense by Shippensburg. Very good defense.
So Ship takes over now.
Well, they just want to play first down football here. They want to be careful, but then again,
you don't want to, screw up that momentum, because clearly sometimes teams then play not to lose, and then you lose.
And they're not. They're going to throw in first down.
Rossi has it. Out near the first down marker on first down.
Most of the time we do Ship games, you're calling Rossi's name throughout the game. Is that his first catch today?
I think it's his second. I mean, he has been, over the past 3 years, he has been a go-to guy. And he's a pretty good blocker, too, so he's very good for this, good fit for this offense, this wing T offense for Rocky Reese.
Westmont Hilltop and Johnstown.
Well, this Cal U defense right now, not right.
You're up 3 scores, and you come out throwing on first down. You got to be impressed.
Here's Kevin Marshall spinning. Cal hasn't given up 28 points since October 3rd, a 41-28 win at IUP.
Well, the house was on fire, though, with Clarion.
Yeah, 35-31 in that game.
Tyler Heater was heating them up.
So 2nd and 4 for the Red Raiders. Fournette is the motion man. Herod gets a couple.
Boy, how the whole, in college football especially, how it can change in 11 weeks.
Yeah.
How teams come from where they were to where they are now. And you think about the hottest teams in the PSAC right now, Shippensburg and Clarion.
Teams that were, listen, let's be honest, not very highly regarded coming into the season.
Nor should they have been, really, from where they had been and the kind of people they had, what they were playing with at the time. But goodness.
Shippensburg, though, quietly, I think, in-house, they felt we've got experience, we're going to be better. DeFebo throwing off the wrong foot, and it was nearly caught and dropped by Fournette, and he knew he should have had it.
He was running before he put his 2 hands on it. That was 6. Because Fournette's fast enough to outrun the defender.
Well, he got twisted around, so it would have been certainly quite an effort. But, yeah, I think a lot of factors there, and Fournette pounding that turf brings up 4th down, and his guys telling him to shake it off.
They were throwing on 3rd and short.
So Kyler Ford punting, his 3rd of the game. This one at about the 20. You have to be worried about Cal U in their return game. They can be very explosive. That is Josh Gumbert. We'll take a step aside here. It's 28-7, Shippensburg on top. School history, lots to smile about. Toothy grin with Shippensburg up by 3 scores. But don't count Cal U out. Say this about that defensive line. And you know John Luckhart means business now because he's going short sleeves.
Well, he's steaming right now. The hat will come off next, or it'll blow off. It'll be launched into orbit. Well, they got away with one. You know what? They're still alive in this game. They're by no means out of this game, and they got a break there when Fournette didn't catch that pass. I like the idea they're going to the running game now.
Wendell Brown, we've seen them in the past, especially the first year of the Sports Fever Television Network coverage, where Cal U will score on a long bomb, pick off a pass, return it for a touchdown. There is a Vinny Renato who has been a playmaker. He's being attended to on the sidelines. Renato, the sophomore linebacker, has been everywhere, checking the neck area, now the shoulder area, so that's something to keep a close eye on as we progress through the second half.
I think Carville Academy is where Alfonso Hoggers is from as well. Hotbed in private school football in Delaware.
Portis, long ball, middle, broken up. That one had all the makings, but Shippensburg was right there. On the coverage was number 23 for the Red Raiders, Jamon McCullough, the safety.
He's playing center field, and he reads the pass, and the pass is just hangs up. He was there. That was good. That was good play. Good defensive secondary play by Ship.
Terrence Moore, the intended receiver again. McCullough, so close.
And Moore he wasn't open as it looked there. He wasn't. But he's been open, and the ball hasn't been there. 2nd
and 10 now. Portis the give. Brown trying to escape Bowen. He does. Near the sideline and out of bounds. It looks like Brown came up a little limp there. But he appears to be okay.
Yeah, he's coming back on. Again, I think their running game could get them into the end zone here and get them in this game.
It was a 1st down carry for Cal U, so now the Vulcans at the 36 of the Raiders. Brown back at tailback. Screen pass. The receiver falls down and then is knocked down. It was Cherry. Had some makings, but ends up nothing. Let's go back to the third member of our broadcast crew. It's John Sadak. John?
Well, Jason, the support system for these student athletes is amazing. It's not just what happens on the football field in the weight room. Sometimes it's what happens at home. And look at Josh Portis, the quarterback for this Cal U team. We caught up with his mother, Patricia, before the game, and she talked about the family support system for him. She lives in California, transplanted to Florida when he attended the university thereof, and now flies up from there to Pittsburgh to watch his games at Cal. In fact, it was a family connection that resulted in his transfer to the Vulcans.
Well, the one good thing is it's probably a lot cheaper to fly from Florida to Pittsburgh than it is from California to Pittsburgh.
I don't know. I never did it.
I'm just, I see some of the flight deals. I get it via email, so what do I know? I'm not a travel agent. 3rd and 11 now. 3rd and long once again. That has been a problem for Cal U as well. Actually, 3rd and 6 as they correct the scoreboard, so it's 3rd and 6. Still going to be tough to convert. Portis. Pass. This one was high, but corralled by Terrence Moore.
That's a good catch by Moore. They tried that slant pattern at the end of the first half, and he didn't come up with it. That time the ball was right where he could catch it. First down. So they've got two pass plays that are working for them.
There's Moore, who was met by Marcellus Salmons and then broke free, made the catch. So now, Cal U definitely needs to get that football in the end zone here.
Well, with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter, now time is beginning to creep into the picture. Down 3 scores.
If they can go into the fourth quarter, as Portis will call a timeout, if they can go into the fourth quarter down 14, I think they'll feel pretty good about it. We'll take a timeout as well. It's 28-7 with Cal U driving. The Red Raider logo. The Red Raiders about to possibly sail off with a PSAC championship, but we still have it 1 full quarter left and 3 minutes and change in this one. As you can see, Cal U 21 yards away from pay dirt. On 1st and 10, it's a give to Brandon Anderson, the running back. I always like it on those rosters when you have 2 guys with the same number. But it's Brandon Anderson with the carry. Anderson, his 2nd carry of this game.
Brandon Anderson plays football at Penn Hills, which is in the east part of Pittsburgh. And they won their first WPIAL playoff game last night, in first-round game. Now they got Gateway, one of the top-ranked high school teams in the state next week.
2nd and 9, another handoff. This time it's Brown. And there is one PSAC game that we should talk about. It's involving Bloomsburg, and what a shock.
3 in a row now. Bloomsburg has dropped. They were upset in overtime at home by Gannon.
10-7.
10-7, which I got to believe all but knocks them out of the NCAA regional tournament, which starts next week.
Of course, that 3-game losing streak started when Ship came to Bloom and won 28-27. 3rd and 6 again. This crowd on its feet looking for a stop. Portis surveying, feeling the heat. Incomplete, knocked down.
Every time they need a play, they get a play. This time it's
Cody Fleming. Wow.
In unison. That's how good the play was.
Watch 44, look, bottom of your screen.
He's reading the quarterback. He finds the guy in his zone, and he puts a hand on it.
He was essentially Portis' shadow on that play.
You know, I'm going to defend Portis a little bit on this one. I know we kind of edge into. We don't want to be critical of players, but kind of edge into a point where he may be not making good passes, but his receivers aren't trying to catch the ball either when they got to go get it.
Bloomsburg now 8-3 after that loss. Here it is, 4th and 6 from the 17. Portis looking left. That ball is caught.
Now
we'll see what the officials say. Yes, they are signaling a catch. That will be first down yardage.
He must have heard me because he went to get that ball. That's a great catch.
Instead of seeing it in, this time he went out and got it.
Go get it.
Terrence Moore.
Again, I'm one of these guys that contend the toughest thing in football at any level is to catch a pass. Oh, wow, what a catch. Did he hold it? I guess he did. The ship guys
Marcellus Salmons was saying, but
he's
the
not,
officials differed.
He doesn't have any stripes on his hat.
So 1st and goal from the 9. Brown outside, pylon. He's in for the score. Vulcans on the board here.
We got a football game now.
28-13. Well, we talked about it with 1:11 on the clock. Cal U certainly has to feel good. Now, essentially down 2 scores after this PAT, as Brown scores his 2nd touchdown of this game. 12 plays, 58 yards, we're being told. Brown, his 7th touchdown of the season. DeMoncus on for the PAT. And this one is through. So just like that, it's 28-14. Cal U down 14 after the touchdown from Wendell Brown, his 2nd of the game. "2009, the year of the Vulcan." Well, that remains to be seen. Shippensburg right now in front, 28-14. Still in the 3rd quarter with 1:11 on the clock. John Luckhart's team makes it a 2-score game after the 58-yard drive that took 5 minutes and 40 seconds off the clock.
I don't know, Jason, if I'm the home team and I see that hanging in my stadium, that might get me a little fired up. I know I would get fired up.
Well, I know there's some professional stadiums, they'll yank that stuff down.
Of course, I'm the kind of guy that gets fired up over a lot less than that.
Sports Fever Television Network proud to recognize the male and female student athletes of the week. From Shippensburg, it's redshirt freshman Kevin Herod, the running back, battled for a career-high 112 yards on the ground. In the big win, 31-10 over Cheney, the Raiders clinched its first outright PSAC divisional championship since 1981. And the female athlete of the week, Neely Spence from the women's cross-country team, ranked number 8 in Division II, continued its strong season by winning the cross-country championships for the 2nd straight year. As this is not a good attempt by Mike Fournette. Neely Spence, boy, she is something else. She posted the top individual time by completing the 6K course in just over 21 minutes, which was pretty good considering the course was full of puddles and slippery stuff.
She's a legendary runner.
She is.
Period. She did a great in high school and now in college.
She entertained possibly transferring to a Division I school, but decided against that to remain here at Shippensburg, and it seems like that has been a very good decision, at least as far as the Red Raider program is concerned.
When you go to a place like Ship and you get attached to it, and you say to yourself, what the heck?
She has family ties as well. Yeah. She's from Shippensburg.
Right. But you know what? I think Cal's figuring out, though, all the different things that happen in a wing T offense right now.
John Sadak back on the side.
You talk about the offense in this game. Indeed, Cal is not out just yet, the top scoring offense in the league. Shippensburg, the number 2 scoring offense, and very steady. In fact, this Shippensburg team has scored at least 23 points in all of its games this year, the first time that's ever happened in the 105-year history of the program. Back to you.
We'll take a timeout. It's 28-14, end of the 3rd quarter. 4 fingers are up by everyone. We'll see what the 4th quarter has in store. Shippensburg performing here, up 28-14 with the football to begin the 4th quarter. Chad DeFebo from the shotgun will look long for his brother Chase, who has it. DeFebo to DeFebo. Chase knocked down at about the 25, a huge hookup. 56 yards. And once again, it's DeFebo to DeFebo. That offensive line has been really, really good for Shippensburg. And DeFebo was able to get find an open spot, and now it's first down, Red Raiders. DeFebo, prior to that catch, 4 catches, 107 yards. He now adds to that. A huge afternoon for the younger DeFebo.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to go to the DeFebos for Thanksgiving Day morning family football, because those two guys will get me on the winning column.
Kevin Marshall with the carry to soften up that Cal defense. And again, this offensive line, no sacks of Chad DeFebo today. Very, very impressive. Because Cal has some horses up front and in that linebacker crew.
Again, we've seen this happen. Shippensburg, when Bloomsburg scored a couple weeks ago, they answered right away again. They came right back.
And Marshall has about 90 yards rushing now, considering that Cal hasn't allowed a 100-yard rusher all season. Here's DeFebo, knocked down by Dante Brown. That's impressive. I mean, no 100-yard rusher this year. They held Hogger to 50, and now Marshall has to have pretty close to 90 for this game.
We had 85 at the end of the quarter. He just had that carry for a couple. Boy, if I'm Rocky Reese, I'm saying, oh, please, Chad, just go down.
That is not DeFebo's mentality, though. He is a gamer. This guy's like a linebacker playing quarterback. We've seen it throughout his tenure as the starting quarterback. He will take a hit. He's like, and I hate to use Brett Favre, but he's running down after the plays. Running down, throwing blocks. He is truly a leader on this Shippensburg team, and a major reason why it's playing in this game. Here's Marshall again. Marshall near the 10.
Well, that Phoenixville is a tough blue-collar town in Chester County, and let me tell you what, they produce some pretty good football teams at not only Phoenixville but St. Pius at 10. Of course, Chad went on to prep school at Trinity Pauling up there in suburban New York. High rent district up there, by the way.
Marshall went to the Scotland School nearby, and Rocky Reese's club has a first down after that run.
They're draining. Not only are they getting close for some points here, but they're draining clock again.
First and goal. Impressive drive here to start the quarter for the Raiders.
All starts on the offensive line. Those O-line have owned this.
DeFebo, is it caught? DeFebo, yes. Chad to chase again. Second scoring strike of this football game. And a huge hug from the big guys up front. Dave Fremont has been everywhere blocking, and he was the first one to congratulate Chase DeFebo. And now it's 34-14. Kyler Ford for the PAT.
Anyway, cut this. This is shocking.
It is 35-14. The Raiders well in front. Can they hang on? It's coming up next after the break on STN. Well, Freddie Bacco, the Vulcans, in trouble. Very significant. Stat sheet just handed to me. Red zone chances for Shippensburg, 5. Red zone scores, 5. 5 of 5 for the Red Raiders in the red zone, and that's why they lead 35-14. Here's Cherry trying to get good field position. He is knocked down at about the 30. Mike Fournette was there to help out. Ball will be at the 31. So what kind of answer does Cal U have in this situation? We shall see as we take a long look at Cherry. Product of Cincinnati, Ohio, Moeller High School, the same high school that Ken Griffey Jr. attended. He's a transfer from South Florida. Moeller High School. There is number 7. Dominique Curry, who is a transfer from Cheney. We're actually going to re-kick this.
What was the penalty? What was the penalty?
It was an illegal procedure penalty. And we shall re-kick. So Kyler Ford will do the honors again. He will now boot it from the 25-yard line. Ford has been one of the best kickers in this conference, even better at punting. This one, high kick, end over end to about the 9. Cherry with the do-over. Another flag thrown behind him. We'll see what the call is. And it is an illegal block on the Vulcans. So that will knock the Vulcans back. As we look at Chase DeFebo, 6 catches, 168 yards. Let's see where this, probably right there, top of your screen.
Holding, number 17 on the return team, 10 yards from the end of the run. First down.
Brandon Livesey, the linebacker, the guilty party. Brandon is from Monroeville. And how about the DeFebos? There is Chad, 17 of 23, 281 through the air, 4 scores. Longest pass play was 51 yards to his brother Chase. And he has not been sacked once. Meanwhile, Josh Portis has been on the carpet. He's been sacked twice. His numbers a little less impressive, 13 of 28, 166 yards through the air. Again, Portis came in as one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the country. Has some work to do here. This one is incomplete, dropped. The intended receiver was Cherry. Shippensburg, 445 yards of total offense compared to just 255 for the Raiders, or the Vulcans, I should say. Titan Brunner, the senior, wants a PSAC championship, giving chase here as Wendell Brown takes another handoff. Very first meeting between these two schools, 1926. Ship won 9-7. Cal has won the last 3, but that streak in danger here thanks to players like Eric Van Ness. So once again, 3rd and long. Cal 5 of 12 in this game, converting on 3rd down. Your screen is shaking for a reason. Fans are up here at Seth Grove. 3rd and long from the 14. Portis is going down. Titan Brunner with the sack. To about the 5. Brunner broke away and then drops Portis. Just ran right around Dan Jordan. And Shippensburg can smell it. 10:54 on the clock. The punt by Fiorenza. Taken by Mike Harris. Shippensburg will start at the Vulcan 45. It's 35-14. We'll be back for more of the 4th. Shippensburg in front, 35-14, playing for its 3rd ever conference championship, the last coming in 1981. 1st and 10. DeFebo had it on his hip, now throwing, has Rossi, the tight end. 1st down, and now down to the field, and John.
Well, Shippensburg, an upstart team, taking it to Cal here, but there was concern or perhaps even hope about another potential upset in the West Virginia Intercollegiate Athletic Conference as West Liberty State takes on an upstart Concord team today. If West Liberty were to lose, this winner would likely get the 1 seed in the region. That does not appear likely. West Liberty's up 43-28 in the 4th quarter. Up to you guys.
So no upset in that one, but here, this one would be considered certainly an upset. Considering how far Shippensburg has come, but in that preseason ranking in the East Division, picked to finish 5th. That is a long way away as Mike Burnett is going a long way in for the touchdown. The freshman from Cumberland Valley High School in the Harrisburg area. Cumberland County product, Mike Burnett. Huge afternoon. Catching and now running. Running out there. Got a big block from Dave Fremont, number 53, and some other guys helped spring him. And Burnett, this may be the icing on the cake. 41-14 Cumberland Valley product Mike Burnett puts Shippensburg on top in the state game. 42-14, Shippensburg in front. The largest Shippensburg win ever in this series, 1976, 58 points. We're not there yet, but Shippensburg making a statement here in the state game. Here's Cherry spinning and met at the 30. Mike Burnett, there he is, next to Herod and Kevin Marshall. Experience on both sides, essentially, with Herod having a redshirt season. Burnett, 59 yards on 7 carries. That last one went for 32 yards to cap off the 45-yard scoring drive. Took only 2 plays and 45 seconds. Now the defense will look to hold. Portis has to throw and has a connection with Blake Williamson, his tight end. First pass catch by Williamson in this game. On the coverage was Josh Simmons, the linebacker. No huddle for Cal U, time of the essence. Portis, good toss. Nice catch by Williamson. 1st and 10 from the 46. Backo, Freddie Backo. Backo breaks loose, changes field. He is heading to the end zone. He will be in for the score, so Cal U counters on a quick scoring drive. 46 yards, Freddie Backo. That was more yards than he's gained in the entire game. And this was simply being relentless and resilient. Could have gone down, nearly went down there. And Backo, yards after contact, results in 6. So it's now 42-20 as you see the scoreboard here at Seth Grove Stadium. DeMoncus on for the PAT to make it 42-21. It is 42-21. Backo hoping Cal U has time to come back in this one. We're back. The defending state champs not done yet as Kevin Marshall nearly slips. And now we'll have to slip a few more defenders to get past the 10. He does to get to the 11. Of course, Cal U beat Westchester last year, 47-36 for the PSAC championship. First time this game had been played since 1987. Shippensburg will have the ball at its own 11. 1st and 10 for Rocky Reese's team. Chad DeFebo. An accounting major knows the math here. Hold on to the football, eat up clock, convert first downs, and that may equal a PSAC championship. The give up the middle is Herod. He got maybe 1, possibly 2. The DeFebos, the sons of Ralph and Linda DeFebo, as we look at Herod. Herod, his 10th carry of this game. 43 yards for the afternoon. Brings up 2nd and 7. Some shadows here as afternoon will turn into early evening. Kevin Marshall trying to find a seam, and he will not. First man to meet him was Eric Harris, the defensive back wearing number 31 in white. Marshall has had a very good rushing day. Prior to this, though, 95 yards, as Dante Brown, the transfer from Penn State, will wrap him up. So here we go, 3rd and 11. Cal U certainly looking stop, then get the ball. There is Chase DeFebo. Brother Chad facing 3rd and 11. He rolls. Pressure coming, needs to get out of the end zone. DeFebo does. And will throw that football. Will they call him down? Yes, they're saying he was possibly out of bounds inside the 5 at the 4. So now this gets very interesting. Thankfully for Shippensburg, it has possibly the best punter in this conference. But this was danger zone, as Thomas Mulaba was giving chase, and then Willie Walker was there to say hello. So 4th and 18, Kyler Ford's foot is on a piece of grass that is right near the end zone line. That was a tough snap, but look at this kick by Kyler Ford all the way to the 20-yard line. Now let's see what Cal U can do with it. To about the 26, and a late hit. That was unnecessary by Ship. And it was Kyler Ford, the kicker, who did it. Not a smart play after that huge booming punt. What's your punter doing that for? Gregory Allen making the call. Personal foul. Rocky Reese wasn't happy about that call. But what a kick.
Dead ball, personal foul, late hit out of bounds, number 28. 15 yards, first down.
So it is against Kyler Ford. And here it was. Gumbert was well out of bounds. And Kyler Ford, after a huge kick, gives Shippensburg, or at least I should say Cal U, a little more yardage. Portis trying to make him pay. Nearly had a man. It was Moore. Terrence Moore, the two could not hook up. So it will be 2nd and 10 after this attempt. Moore had space between him and Proctor, and that would have been inside the 10, possibly a touchdown for Cal U, that quick strike capability, although time now under 7 minutes. 2nd and 10 from the 44. Has a man, Portis does. Will they say catch? They will spot it. It's the big guy, A.J. Jackson. His 5th catch of this game. His longest one has been 16 yards. The longest pass play converted by Cal U, 36 yards. And Gordon Blaine and I spoke about that in the open. In the early moments of this game, there was some bobbling there, but they're going to call it a catch. And again, that's why that one coach right there was saying no, but the officials say otherwise. So it is a first down from the 42. Portis has to step up. Here's a home run ball. Corner of the end zone, out of reach. He wanted Cherry. Shedrick Cherry, the intended receiver, as Cal U went for it all. That brings up 2nd and 10. Also want to tell some of our audience that WGCB will replay this game at 11 o'clock tonight. So WGCB will be replaying this game at 11 p.m. Saturday night. You can catch and see this entire great state game championship conference in its entirety at 11 o'clock. Portis has a man. It's Jackson, the big fella. So now these two in sync when it counts the most, with 6 minutes to go in the fourth. Portis, presence. That was a very tight spiral. Proctor was there, but I mean, Proctor's a little guy compared to big A.J. Jackson. Proctor at 6 feet 178. Jackson, he's only 6'6" and 230. The result, 1st and 10 from the 26. Is there enough time for Cal U? Portis this time wants the end zone again. Looks like we'll have a pass interference call. Jason Bristol, Gordon Blaine here in the booth. We'll see what the flag is.
Defensive pass interference number 15 on the defense. 15 yards, automatic first down.
Telling you, Gordon, that these two finally hooking up. This time they wanted 6, couldn't get it. Travis Proctor got the one arm up, and I guess he possibly wrapped him on that left arm.
I don't know, though. It looked like they were going for the ball.
Here's Bacco looking for another touchdown across the 10 to about the 8. 42-21, 5.5 minutes on the clock.
Well, it's a long shot, but it's been done before.
Bacco, another carry, push back. Cal U, again, the urgency. No huddle offense. Looking for momentum. Looking to keep this defensive package on the field for Shippensburg. Moving down the field. 3rd and 6, touchdown, Cal U. It's Terrence Moore from 6'4'6". 42-27 with 5:03 on the clock.
Well, you knew Cal wasn't going to go down.
No.
Without a fight. They got too much talent. They have too much confidence in themselves. Maybe they just didn't get the wake-up call until in the fourth quarter, but it's a different-looking football team right now.
Here's DeMonkis, the PAT. This one straight down the middle. 42-28. Cal U creeping back. Shippensburg can answer. Fourth quarter in the state game. 42-28 of concern to Shippensburg. You look at the last 2 scoring drives by the Vulcans. The first took 32 seconds. This one, 1 minute 58 seconds. The 7-play, 56-yard drive. So essentially 14 points in what, 2.5 minutes? For Shippensburg, they need to be mindful of that.
Oh, this is not in the bag for the Red Raiders. You know, Jason, I want to remind everybody now, if you're watching here on Monday night on FSN, of course you know what I'm going to say, but for you watching live, this game will replay Monday night on FSN Pittsburgh, starting at 7 p.m. And, of course, later tonight on WGCP for our viewers in central Pennsylvania at 11 p.m.
Big return for Shippensburg. It's Barley. Brian Barley, the split end. Barley from Berwyn, Conestoga High School, freshman. So Obviously, Mike Fournette, the big freshman for Shippensburg, but Barley's given him some quality minutes this season as well.
That linebacker, that's the much publicized linebacker, Mark Herzlich at Boston College, is fighting cancer. He's from Conestoga. And a pretty good football program down there in the Central League in Delaware County.
So Chad DeFebo and Shippensburg with just under 5 minutes left here on the game clock. Kevin Marshall maneuvering and gets nothing. A loss of 1 on the tackle, and shaken up is Terrence Johnson, number 15, the defensive back, and he will stay down. Johnson from Woodland Hills, as we take a look again.
Well, you know, Cal is able to bring fresh bodies in. That's another advantage. They have depth of quality players. Ship doesn't have that depth. Ship still with their first-line players. These guys are getting run down a little bit. You can see that a lot of the blocking is not what it was for the first 3 quarters of the football game, and they're starting to stuff this wing T running game, and this is what's creating a problem for Ship to run the clock.
Perhaps a thigh issue for Terrence Johnson.
Looked like he took a helmet on the thigh for that on that tackle.
Yeah, and that normally doesn't feel good.
Even with those pads.
There's the scene. We're looking at the Cal U sideline in the distance. Full parking lots here at Shippensburg. A big sports day, culminating with this. A 42-28 lead, 2nd and 11 now for the Red Raiders.
Well, they're going to take their time with the clock, and that's smart because you know, they're going to get a full 40 from the time the injuries was whistled off the field. So they get 40 seconds to snap the ball, and why not take it?
Play clock is down to 15 seconds as DeFebo moves under center. Play clock down to 7. Herod fighting for more yardage, takes 3-4 Cal U defenders to bring him down.
But Cal's got him in a 3rd and 5 or 6, so they're in good shape. 3rd and 5, they're in good shape to get the football back with a good defensive play here.
Brandon Livesey, Eric Harris helping bring down Herod.
You throw the ball here if you're Cal, or rather Ship, or do you try to keep the clock running and run the football?
I would try and find Mike Harris. That would be my guess. They did this in the Bloomsburg game towards the end of the game, driving a big 4th down, I believe, and they found Harris a little underneath route. Let's see if they'll do it here. DeFebo, pressured, will push away, fakes, and then will try and fall forward. He's going to be very close.
He's short.
Short, maybe a yard, though.
And Cal's going to call a timeout to save that clock.
At 3:06. It will be a Vulcan timeout. We'll step aside as well. 42-28, 4th down coming up for the Red Raiders on the Sports Fever Television Network. A measurement now. The board says 4th and 1. Was a pretty good spot, but it appears as though Shippensburg will be short of that 1st down. And now what they'll do is they'll get an exact measurement so they can spot that football in the middle of the field.
It looks like Ship's going to go for it. I mean,
wow.
I think they're going to
What do you think of that call when you've got perhaps the best punter in the conference, pin him inside the 10 or so, but...
Well, I'm going to talk to my center and my quarterback and say, can you 2 guys work this and can you push somebody out of the way enough to get that 1 yard?
Lots to ask for, but Rocky Reese, experience up front.
They converted 4th downs against Bloom over and over and over.
Well, they've converted, they're 1 of 1 in this game. And again, we talked about it earlier. Statistically speaking, Ship best in the conference on 4th down. Cal U, one of the worst.
Right.
So here we go, 4th and short from the 48. Cal U digs in.
They might try to draw him offside.
Nearly moved there.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Play clock at 8. DeFebo, they will call a timeout. Nope, they're going to let it run down. and give Kyler Ford a little more space to work with, I guess.
Cal has one timeout left. Ship still has all three of their timeouts. Its timeouts, rather.
So it will be delay of game. I thought maybe that at the last second DeFebo would whistle a timeout. Boy, for being down, number of points, these two guys are having a good time on the sideline.
Don't all the coaches, I work the sidelines a lot.
Yeah.
I'm down there with them all the time, and they no matter what the deal is, they're enjoying it.
Well, some of the best stuff that you get. And Kyler Ford with a boomer. This one was touched, so Cal U has to bring it out. And Cal U is in a heap of trouble as Shippensburg. That worked perfectly. At about the 3, Chase DeFebo loves it. Shippensburg sideline loves it. That is how it was drawn up for the Red Raiders.
Back in the second game of the year, Bloom recovered a muffed punt down inside the 10 for a touchdown that was pivotal, and it happens that Cal, again, it comes back to haunt them.
Cody Fleming, we saw number 44. Let's see how much he was involved in this. Rossi was down there. Fleming was the first one to really disrupt things. And then, 4, 5 Red Raiders with help from Travis Proctor, number 15. And this is where Cal U has to start from its 3-yard line. 97 yards with 2:52 on the clock. Your screen is going to start shaking. This building is shaking. From his end zone, Portis, long ball. And this one is overthrown. Once again, Terrence Moore, the intended receiver.
I know it looks tempting that Moore can beat the defensive back, but it takes so much of an accurate pass, so much to go right on those long touchdown bombs. Throw some short stuff and move down the field. Get out of bounds, you got enough time.
Well, it's worked in the past drives.
Just essentially, you're down 1 score right now. You get the score, then you go for the onside kick.
Yeah.
When you're down 2, you're down 1.
Yeah.
Basically. The beauty of
and
the
they're
rule.
not chasing points because it's even in terms of touchdowns, so it's not like it's a 15-point game or a 17-point game. Portis.
There you go.
There you go. Short toss to Wendell Brown. Or actually, it's Cherry. No, it's A.J. Jackson. Why don't we just go down the entire roster?
Well, it's 6, 7, 8, and 82.
Well, 6'6", A.J. Jackson. There is Chad DeFebo waiting for that clock, looking for that big scoreboard clock to see how much is left, and you can see it for yourself. Ticking away at 2:26. The sun's still shining and shining on Shippensburg.
The Ship's only rushing 3 down guys, but they're going to try to bring linebackers and pick their spots.
Pressure coming. Portis. This one up in the air. A push-off. No flag. Dominique Curry was the wideout. Proctor was the defensive back. They've been really throwing a lot. Now, I don't know if it's just by chance, but Proctor seems to be involved in a lot of these long attempts. I don't know if that's by design or it's just if they're picking on him or what.
Well, maybe Portis throws better to his right than throwing across his body to his left. I don't know. You could just take a guess. Proctor's got to be tired, though. They got to get him some help over there.
So 2nd and 10 from the 16.
I mean, he's manning up on these guys.
He is.
He's getting no help because the safety can't get all the way over there.
Shotgun again. Blitz coming. Over the middle. Caught. It's Jackson, the big fella.
They're getting no pressure on Portis, and he's just, he's picking his guys.
7 catches now for A.J. Jackson. At the 30, pickup of 14. Jackson now has 95 yards receiving on the afternoon. 1st and 10. There you go. Another short toss, sideline, clock stop. It is Shedrick Cherry from Moeller High School in Cincinnati.
They need to get pressure on Portis, and Cal's saying we're going to give Portis time. He'll find our guys. They'll get open. They'll come open eventually in their patterns.
Well, I would think that the one thing Shippensburg doesn't want to do is have somebody get behind those defensive backs. So they're probably giving them a little cushion because that big playability, I'm sure they're going to allow Cal to kind of dink and dunk. 21 and 3, the DeFebos. Big reason why Shippensburg is up 42-28. Another completion to the 50.
How about Portis? He's putting it right in there now. He's putting it right in there. He's relaxed. He's calm. He's using that talented arm he has.
Jackson now on over 100 yards receiving. There he is.
And you can see the Ship fans getting real uneasy and they're kind of resetting themselves in their chairs.
Portis pressured now, runs and falls down at the 44.
I don't think Cal's going to burn that timeout yet.
Clock is running. 1:35. There, that is Eric Van Ness, the redshirt junior. 1:20 we're approaching on 2nd and 5. Portis sideline, caught by Cherry. So there we go. But again, if you look, I think Shippensburg is willing to give them that at this point.
Now it's down to 118. They're thinking, you got to go 35 more yards. If we don't give you the big play on one play, we make you go 3 more plays, it's just going to be literally, even if you recover the onside kick.
One timeout remaining for the Vulcans. First down. Over the middle, Jackson, one-handed attempt, can't bring it in.
Wow. He had an opportunity to reel that in and maybe take off.
I mean, he's so big. It would take 2, 3, 4 defenders to bring him down in the open field.
Well, you know, it's the score speaks for itself in terms of hats off to Ship, but what about hats off to Cal? I mean, they down 42-14. They could have just mailed this in and figured, guys, let's just hope we get into the tournament and make it up next week. No, they weren't going to give up. And they have the firepower, and they know that, and they finally got a little relaxed and started focusing on one play at a time, go down the field, make things happen.
Well, this is what Cal U plays for every year. It's for this championship. Every year they're in the mix. Portis, this one is really long and out of the end zone.
Probably smart because that time Proctor had great coverage, and that was the first time that Ship sort of put a little heat on him. But those linemen are just dead tired. Those guys are just dead tired right now for Ship. We're talking about for the Ship defensive down guys, Brunner and Smith, Ness, Horn.
There's Horn, number 90.
Zach Collins was in there. These guys are just flat out pooped, and why not? I mean, they played the whole game.
Well, this could be the ball game. 3rd and 10. Portis wants the sideline, has a first down. For some reason, Cherry decided to come back, and that is a personal foul. Another costly penalty. It looks like it's Fertig. Or actually, Nick Molesky, number 7.
He's going to put the ball down about the 10-yard line.
I don't know why Cherry. I mean, if you're there for the sideline, just get out.
Actually, where they're putting the ball down is he does not have the first. It doesn't look like he has the first down. But it doesn't matter.
With the penalty.
Half a distance is a goal. He's going to set up a 1st and goal around the 10 or 11.
Here's Greg Allen.
Head ball, personal foul, number 2 on the defense, late hit out of bounds. First down.
Well, that can't be right because it's Nick Kleinpeter, the halfback. I think it's 7, which would be Molesky. Yep.
The only thing that's going to, if Ship's thinking themselves, the only thing we're going to stop Cal here is get a hand on the quarterback. Somebody has to sack somebody.
Or you could possibly let them, well, we'll see. Portis, quarterback draw, sideline to about the 4. I was going to say, I mean, there's some coaches, you could let them score and then, but you don't want to do that with Cal because they've got those high hands team guys that could get it on the onside kick. But if you can get that ball in your hands and then just take a couple of knees and it's over. But that's a big if.
Well, it appears right now that Cal is not going to be stopped, and this is going to come down on an onside kick.
You're right. I mean, the way this Cal team has moved the football here in the 4th quarter, this is a lengthy drive compared to the Vulcans' last 2 scoring drives. The first one took 32 seconds, the other one just under 2 minutes.
The Moncos missed that chip field goal. He's going to have a chance to make it up with a pretty good onside kick.
This appears to be a delay of game. We'll see.
Delay. Number 12 on the offense, 5 yards, still second down.
On the bright side, that gives Cal a little more room to work with, but second down for Portis and company. 2nd and 10 from the 12 with 57 seconds to go. Shotgun again. Portis firing. Incomplete. Wanted Cherry.
Very good pass coverage by Shippensburg that time.
Molesky was there along with number 8. You see him. That is Marcellus Salmons.
See, here now, the safeties aren't number one priority. Is not to let anybody get behind them because
they don't have to worry about it.
Because there's a goalpost behind them right now. So now you can come up and make your plays. And that's where we've seen Ship so good the last couple weeks, is that they're very aggressive coming up on defense from the secondary guys, coming up making plays.
And they'll give that yardage, but when it comes in close, that's when Ship really bears down. 3rd and 10 from the 12.
I'm surprised they haven't brought more than one linebacker. They're just bringing one linebacker.
Here's an attempt, incomplete. Brings up 4th down, looking for Terrence Moore once again.
Well, here it is. If Cal's going to repeat, or not put itself in, not only not repeat, but put itself in real dicey territory for that NCAA berth, although Bloomsburg helped them out there.
Timeout, Moore. Maybe had a jam thumb on that one because that ball was on a rope from Portis. If it was in front of him, it would have been a touchdown.
What do you call here? I think you're going to call slant. I don't care. I think that's what's most successful for them right now. I think him trying to throw with this tall guy in the corner, it's not going to get it there.
Okay, that was going to be my suggestion. When you've got a guy 6'6", you're working against these 6-foot tall defensive backs. But you're right in the sense in this game, Portis hasn't really shown up until this quarter that he has that great touch on his passes at this point.
Yeah, I think that's where you have to think this through. But then again, when you're on the sidelines, you're coaching, you're calling plays, you're not thinking about, oh, my guy hasn't been able to complete that pass tonight. No. You think about what he does in practice and say, look, our best play in practice has been the lob it up, or let Terrence Moore, well, he's 6'2", although I think he's taller than that. 6'6", AJ Jackson.
Let AJ Jackson go up and get it.
Yeah.
But,
here's the other thing, too, and this is the old golden rule. Nobody covers the tight end from the 10-yard line in. Yeah. Okay, so why not just drag him out, pitch it to him right there at the goal line.
That tight end is Blake Williamson. He has caught a pass today. There he is, number 89. Williamson for the season has 7 catches, actually 8 catches now in his 8 games, make it 9 played. So that would be certainly a sneak attack. My guess, it's either going to go to Moore or Jackson, but we'll see.
All right, he's bringing Moore wide. Jackson on the slot.
Backo is in the backfield.
I think he's got Curry on the other side. Curry's a big guy.
PSAC championship perhaps right here. Here we go, over the top, and it is Jackson for the touchdown. Not quite a fade, but enough to get the big guy involved.
Stop short, making the DB bite, and then just slip past him. Very good play, very well designed. And AJ Jackson is a handful. Well,
the defender, Marcellus Salmons, fell down, which certainly helped Cal's cause. Vulcan fans holding out hope that there's enough time as DeMoncus will knock through the point after to make it 42-35.
Almost didn't knock it through. It was a little bit of a dicey exchange there with the holder. And now Chip's going to have to recover the onside kick to win this football game. If they don't, we might be here a while. And there's no lights on this football stadium. And the good Lord has done all it can to light this field up today with glorious fall sunshine.
So the scoring drive, it started at the 3 and ended with this. A.J. Jackson, 12 yards from Josh Portis, 15 plays, 97 yards. They went 97 yards in 2 minutes, 8 seconds. So total it up, 21 points. in about 4 minutes and 40 seconds in this quarter. 21 points in 4 minutes and 40 seconds. Wow. But again, we talked about that in the start of this game, at the start, how quickly Cal could convert. Now, here is that onside kick attempt.
With 9:18 to go in the game,
that picture said it all.
Cal was down 4 scores. Now they're down 1 score.
3 Ship players now praying and hoping that the Red Raiders will be able to corral this football. Here we go. And Shippensburg has it.
We have a flag, Jason.
There is a flag.
I think it's going to be offsides on Cal. I don't know whether or not you have to take it or not.
Now, it looks as one of the coaches saying they'll decline it. Mike Harris will go down as one of the best players in school history, adding to his legacy a PSAC championship. And this says it all. There is Mike Harris in this game. Only 4 catches, 34 yards, did have a touchdown. John Luckhart can only think about what could have been.
He took the headset off. He knows it's over. They have no more timeouts. Clean exchange and a kneel. And
our players of the game, we're going with players. Chad DeFebo, 18 of 24, 294 yards through the air and 4 touchdowns. The co-player is Chase DeFebo, number 21. There are the brothers. Chase, 6 catches, 168 yards, 2 touchdowns. They hooked up and hooked up well, with 2 touchdowns between them, and they are our co-players of the game. Once again, you can see this game Saturday night replay, WGCB at 11 o'clock. The state game between Shippensburg and Cal U, and it is over. Shippensburg can celebrate PSAC champions for 2009.
an amazing accomplishment for Ship. Picked 5th in the preseason. They beat everybody it took to win this. They didn't get here cheaply. They did it. They did everything. They took on all the best teams and beat them. And today, really, although they had to hold on a little bit here in the 4th quarter, it was a sound win for them.
Well, for John Sadak, Gordon Blaine, our entire broadcast crew, thank you for watching the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference Championship game. Your winner and PSAC champions, Shippensburg, taking it 42-35 on the Sports Fever Television.